Guys, gals, and non-binary pals, this is Apocalypse World, The Loudness Wars Part 3, a game that was scheduled on Gauntlet RPG, and is going pretty well, even though it may not be for some of the NPCs who died last session. So, I am your MC. I go by Ferret or Sawyer. I'll answer to either. Gender-wise, gender apathetic. I'll answer to any pronouns, so just call and I'll answer, basically. And I will allow our players to introduce their characters and themselves and plug anything that they think is interesting. So we'll start off character keeper order. David, would you introduce yourself and your character?
Certainly. My name's David. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing Dolly Extravaganza. She is the mother of a drag house, drag queen, and performer in Gnashville, as well as having a sideline in owning a straight razor. Last we saw her, I wasn't here for the last session, but last time we saw Dolly, she had been at an old plantation house where the owner had intended to drug those of us there that were performing and capture us. As I understand, things didn't work out quite as he was intending, so that's all to the good.
Seeing as his head is completely all over his collection room, it did not go well. Up next is Rich.
Hey, I am Rich. Rich Rogers. He, him pronouns. I get to talk about something. I want to say that House of X and Powers of X, the comic books from Jonathan Hickman by Marvel, are amazing, and I just can't get enough of them. And I'm sad that they're so close to done, but I'm thrilled to read them to completion. Anyway, I am playing Jackal. Jackal uses the it pronoun because Jackal is an android who happened to have survived, mostly intact, from before. So before the fall, Jackal was some type of service bot. It continues to function. However, it is rather obvious that Jackal has lost pieces of its databanks and memory, and it doesn't seem as concerning to Jackal as some of the very illogical actions that it took last session. When it murdered an idol because the idol talked shit to it about Lace and how Jackal would drop Lace whenever it was inconvenient. And that is why Jackal shoved a grenade into this idol's mouth and pulled the pin and watched her head explode. So, yeah, Lucy in the Sky is dead. And then afterwards, Jackal and Lace work together to change things in the maelstrom that will hopefully have kicked off the Loudness War, our titular Loudness War. Mechanics. Jackal is a hocus and has a cult of followers who are diligent and hardworking and also savage and desperate.
Oh, Lucy in the Sky is now Lucy in the Dirt, and all around town because the mob tore her to pieces. But last, and certainly not least, our catalyst, Sarabelle. Would you introduce yourself and your character?
My name is Sarah Bell. I use she, her pronouns, and I'll be playing Lace, the Skinner. Lace is a part-time dancer, part-time companion, part-time destroyer of religions, I guess. Maybe they'll see what happens.
Ah, yes, the sexiest iconoclast. So, yeah, since we will probably not be having our Battle Babe with us today, which is sad because something happened last session where the Battle Babe had to leave. But we will be focusing our first scene on Dolly Extravaganza and the House of Extravaganza to see what happened while Jackal and Lace were in the Thunderground doing, hiding out from killing an idol. So, Dolly, tell me about the House of Extravaganza. Is it a literal house? Yeah, it was the strip club, or the strip where all the gay bars used to be in restaurants. But how have you renovated it? Are the walls knocked down? Are all the buildings connected?
Yeah, so sorry. Yeah, so I think we are in I think we own like a couple of the old club buildings that, yeah, we've kind of, so like the club and bar fronts to them are still pretty much as they were, or well, possibly not as they were, but still as originally designed. And then like the upstairs area has sort of been knocked through to create a sort of a living area up there where where the house lives. I think we have, rather than like I see it almost being kind of like dormitory style, with almost like what's the word I'm looking for? Not like like you have in a hospital, like sort of almost like tents for like individual people, like just the sort of curtain dividers sort of things, rather than like walls.
Mm-hmm. And before we completely start, I forgot this. We need to do highlights for stats. Oh, it has been a week. So, Dolly, who has the highest history with you?
I believe it's.
And if everyone's tied, you get to
Oh yeah,
choose.
no, everyone is tied because I think I leveled up with Lace last time. So, well, it was Lace last time, so I'll go for Jackal this time.
Oh, delightful. I choose to highlight your hot, Dolly.
That's what I was going to highlight. Curse you, Jackal. You foresight. Since you weren't here last time and things, I'm probably going to do this for most people this time, but highlight Sharp, because there will be a lot of questioning motives this game. Jackal, who highlights for you?
Of course, it's Lace.
And I am going to highlight your hard.
And like I forewarned, highlight your Sharp. And Lace, who highlights for you?
That'll be Dolly.
Let's see. I think because I know you've just put it up. That was my understanding. So I think I'm going to go with your cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you paranoid. Highlight your Sharp. So yeah, Dolly, to see how well Dinah Extravaganza held things together while you were off at a coup, I'd like you to roll Sharp for me.
Certainly. Oh, sorry. Do we have a roll for your
Yes,
party?
it's in the cats, but I'll post it in the chat just in case. We are the only knowing Mustang.
Ooh. That feels very Tennessee appropriate.
It really does.
Oh, that's an 11 plus. That's 13 in total.
Yeah, so the house is almost better off than when you like things seem clean. The dividers are not soaked in blood or any other bodily fluids. I mean, everyone's maybe not happy, but they're functional, which is what your house needs. And you see Dinah in her denim and silks. As you come in, she's working behind the bar with one of those like portable butane stoves or propane stoves, maybe. But she's making this large bowl of stew for the entire house that night. It smells of spices and meat as you come walking in with your wonderful fashion on, and Jolene and Moxie in tow. And Dinah looks up, and you see this wave of relief hit her face as Mother has come home, and she is no longer in charge. She reaches behind the bar, pulls out this bell, and rings it, and almost in a Sound of Music style, your house children start popping up and coming down the stairs, and like there are oohs and ahs as they see what you're wearing. What do you do?
First, of course, I will give a little twirl to allow people to admire the dress. Well, Dinah, sweetie, you've certainly done a lovely job in my absence. Well done. Perhaps one day you will be able to take over as mother yourself.
Oh, not in a long time, Mother dear. You are resplendent and you're turning that look out. I don't think, I mean, you're not going to crack for ages. You're not a mirror waif.
No, of course not, my sweet. I certainly have no plans to shuffle on any time soon. A few others may not share that opinion, but, well, I have my little secrets, so...
Tell me, Mother, how was the party you went to? I mean, we didn't have any parties here, right, children? And like you can tell that the yes the children give is a real yes. There was no party, and they are pissed.
It was a little underwhelming, truth be told, though still quite profitable, so one does what one must.
And Jolene is sort of leaning against the door frame as she looks around like she's spinning tales. It was a shit show. A fun shit show, but it was a shit show.
Indeed. We had to exhibit our more unmannerly side.
And I think Tyrell sort of peeks around a corner, his fragile, effete face looking at you. It's like, but you're not covered in blood or anything. You're not hurt, are you? No one's hurt, are they?
No one I particularly care about, no. And, well, I am far more careful than to get such fine threads as these messy.
Oh, that's good. I was so worried about you. I was taking care of your wigs, and they're all perfectly styled for when you next want to go out or have a show. And you can tell the way he's talking that it sounds like he's found a new muse, and because he's speaking the way of like, I've been hanging around someone you may not approve of, with that little twinge in his voice that a mother can hear.
Oh, my sweet boy, that's most kind of you, but tell me, who have you been seeing? No judgment, of course, but I do like to keep a careful eye on my precious little children.
Oh, you wouldn't know her. She's it's nothing major, Mother. I promise.
Well, that is... I have no objection, of course. Just do be careful, Tyrell, sweetie. I would hate it if anything happened to you.
Oh, well, I don't think anything's going to happen to me. I mean, we have too many L names going on, so Kiki seems to like me. I mean, she even got her vessel name because of, well, his interest in you.
I see. Well, do not believe I have met this individual. Perhaps we might bring them to tea one day.
Oh, you've met her. She came with Skulljack that one time. And to remind, Skulljack is the dust pirate who has taken too much of a liking
Right,
to your
yes,
family.
Oh, I see. Yes, of course.
I mean, you guys didn't talk, but you met, and she's so pretty, and she's so nice, and she has such wonderful things from out in the dust.
Well, that's good to hear. But as I say, we just be careful, Tyrell. As I say, the land pirates can be somewhat unpredictable.
Can I talk to you in private, Mother?
Of course. I'll wave and say, well, the rest of you do eat. We will join you in a moment.
And I think there, like, a few of them are just, like, ooh, as if something major is going to go on. And Tyrell will walk further into the house, and he's sheepish, and he knows this is probably not going to end well, what he's asking, or at least not in his favor. Like, Kiki was telling me that out in the dust there's a building made entirely of mirrored glass, as tall as the dreams some people have, taller than anyone can leap over. And inside there's, well, she's only been to the first floor, but she wants to take me there with her. Can I go?
Well, I think it certainly sounds like an interesting place. Perhaps it would, but of course I would be a poor mother if I let you go unchaperoned, wouldn't I?
Well, I mean, Kiki will be there with me, and Skulljack, and Crustfang, and I don't know all of them.
No, I think it might rather be better if I accompany you, Tyrell.
You're going to go out into the dust, but your clothes, they'll get dirty.
Well, we have to make little sacrifices, my sweet, for those we love.
Okay, I'll let her know. I'm seeing her tonight. Where at Don't Tell Your Mama. Well, I did tell my mama, but Lace is going to perform. It's going to be great.
Oh, lovely. Lace is such a delight. I hope you enjoy the show.
Thanks. And he darts off happier than he could. There's a skip in his step, and he's going to get his own bit of stew. And this will have been like the wibbly wobbly, timey wimey of after the plantation scene where Lace was dancing at the club with Jackal and Hella there. And of course, this is where we got to meet Dez for the first time, but that didn't. Well, it turned out well enough for Dez. He didn't die. But I think, Dolly, you will have, of course, seen Lace dance to this new lost music, which is Zippity Doo Dah. And it was a grand, vibrant performance. Buckaroo gave her things. People came to see. I believe, no, not Foster. I forgot to write down the mother's name of Don't Tell Mama. But someone is. Oh, Lace?
Didn't we just name her mama? I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, that's right. Thank you.
Okay.
At least her title is Mama. But no, people are. Someone powerful seems to be seeking Mama's services for some kind of celebration. And Dez and his gang, the Savage Wolves, have taken an interest in Lace. But you're more interested in Skulljack and his crew, or at least the crew he brought into port this time. And they're drinking, they're having a grand party. I assume you brought Tyrell with you. Did you bring any of your other named house members, or do you want to have any that you did not name with you?
No, I think this will just be me and Tyrell. I don't want to like make a big deal out of this. I don't think.
And sitting with Skulljack is a woman of. She can't quite give Lace a run for her money, and it's a different type of beauty, but she is chiseled for the gods. It with some makeup and some proper bathing, she probably would be a stunner. And Tyrell just immediately sits in her lap, and she begins doting on him a little bit. And Skulljack looks up. You can see his eyes peering in from his hood as he pulls it back. There's this huge, ugly scar on his face from a piece of glass that someone used as a weapon. But he gives you the prettiest of grins he can muster. Dolly, you fine thing. What brings you to Skulljack instead of vice versa for once?
Well, it seems that one of your crewmates has quite charmed my little boy here, and she will tussle Tyrell's hair affectionately. He wished to come on a date to see her, and I thought that I would accompany him to, ensure there is no funny business.
Funny business among my crew. That gets them the hatchet. And like there's a Paul is silent as everyone looks over. It's like, this isn't funny. Keep drinking. And they kind of go back to their partying a bit nervously now. But it seems he keeps a very strict ship. So, Kiki's been telling me that she wants to take Tyrell out and see some of the sights that are out in the dust. Is that why you're here?
Yes, it is. I am. Tyrell spoke of a building made entirely of mirrored glass. It certainly sounds like a sight to see.
Yeah, we've not gotten to it. We've not gotten fully into it. The bottom floor is not trapped or anything, so we're gonna push further in next outing. You want to come with?
Yes, I think it would be interesting to get out of the city for a little while and see the sights.
Well, hot damn. And to think here I'd have to twist your arm to spend time with me. This is a blessing in disguise. And he like looks over at Kiki. He's like, I am so glad to have you as my second in command. You are a great first mate. And she's kissing on Tyrell's smooth skin. It's like, yeah, sure. But I think at this time is when Dolly hears the grenade go off outside. And the Skulljack looks up and looks surprised as several people are running to the windows to see what happened. What does Dolly do?
I think Dolly is actually going to hang back for now. I think as people are running off to go and see what's happening, I think she's going to kind of scan the room and see if like there's anything else happening whilst this distraction is going on.
Does she want to read a sitch?
Yeah, that sounds good. That is sorry, flipping between tabs. Oh yeah, so that's sharp. So that's a 10.
You get 3 questions, but you must ask them all immediately.
Sure thing. What should I be on the lookout for?
Being implemented or incriminated in what just happened because of your connection.
Sure thing. Who's in control here?
I think if here is like this situation that is caused outside, or the bar.
Yeah, probably like the situation, I think, is
Then Jackal is in control.
right. And I think, what's my best escape route should the need arise?
With Skulljack out of town.
Fair.
So yeah, I think Skulljack is like he's excited, but he's unnerved, and he tells you to like go prepare, settle your house's affairs. He'll meet you at the north side of town near the dust, and like tomorrow at noon or whatever, and that he is he's really glad you're here, and he puts an arm around you if you let him, but he doesn't try to get handsy. He's actually quite respectful.
In which case, yes, I will allow him to.
Yeah, but he pulls you in like for like the Christian side hug kind of thing, because he knows of you more than he knows you, and he doesn't want to come off as one of those creeper guys, as you think he actually has a vested interest in you versus a just sexual interest.
Sure thing.
And we'll do a I don't want to just focus on Dolly and like what happened during the time. So I think we'll do a bit more of the like wibbly wobbly time thing and focus on Lace and Jackal in the Thunderground during the 5 days where they were waiting out the idol crisis. So this is after Lace performed for Grace Jonesing's main event that night to earn you guys sanctuary for 5 days. And I remember with the loaded questions that Jackal's followers congregate in the Thunderground. And last time we were dealing with desperation last time, which not desperation, desertion. And I think all the followers have come to the Thunderground now that Jackal is here, and are even getting like the special wristbands to go backstage into the living areas of the Thunderground so Jackal can be there. But I'll ask Jackal and Lace, did you all get a shared living space in the Thunderground, or are you staying separate?
That would be entirely up to Lace.
I think she'd want a place for herself for a bit.
Okay. So we're going to focus on Jackal first, because its followers have a mighty need at this time. But I think that need is a bit abated by the comfort of being in the thrumming Thunderground. Like inside the living space, the music's pumping sounds more like a mother's heartbeat than the actual music, because they've soundproofed the walls, because it would be hard to sleep for everyone if it was just thumping bass 24/7.
Question.
Yes.
With the 5 days passing, should I roll fortunes or
We'll roll fortunes when Dolly gets back from the adventure. So,
cool.
And that'll be when we all decide the barter that we spend on lifestyle.
Sounds good. Okay.
If you want to roll for that and see what you would get ahead of time, that's fine. To give me time to plan.
Yeah, I'll roll now, and then we'll just know that it applies later. Unless I roll poorly, and then I'll say it's just a practice roll. Is that cool? Can we do that?
Well, I mean,
I'm joking. I've rolled it. Luckily my fortunes is a 2, so I've rolled an 8, which means I have surplus, but choose one want. I should probably have a full
desertion, desperation, and savagery.
Yeah.
You are going to war.
Yeah. I think savagery. I'll choose the one that most benefits me.
Aw, you think that? That's cute. But
Benefits me.
I think in the Thunderground, you're staying at this old subway tunnel that had been built before the catastrophe went off, and uh, there's still electricity down here somehow. They've managed to get enough generators going that with the music thrumming, you can't hear the hum of the generators because just sounds is beginning to cancel out now. It's not they've learned how to soundproof stuff, so it's not a completely desolate war ground down here of noise. And I think I think this is Hummer with you right now as Pugsley is in rapt attention as he looks at everything that's working around this old subway station. And it's like, oh, this light still works, and it's blue. I've never seen a blue light outside the Thunderground shows. Do you think it meant something? And it changes to red. Whoa! And he puts his ear to the walls. Like, you can't even hear the music. I wonder what they did to keep it out. And Hummer's just watching him like this parental figure with a slight smile on her face as she hums like a old marching to war kind of song. And she turns to you, Jackal. Where are you sitting? Are you standing? Where are you?
I think Jackal stands most of the time. It's not like it gets tired. So Jackal is simply standing and probably has its head slightly tilted and seems distracted, but is, of course, aware that they're there.
You know, she'd be a great benefit to our cause. The one I assume we're going to have to go after now.
Which one do you refer to?
Grace Jonesing. You can. You know me. I'm not about the bumping of flesh against flesh for anything outside of violence. But I can tell hate. And she has a hate on for the Church of Idolatry. Rigid and proud.
And do you think that we should recruit Grace Jonesing to our cause?
I'm not sure if recruit is what you do with that woman. We may galvanize her is a proper term, I think.
Your counsel is wise, as always, Hummer.
Well, I think I'll be a bit honest. Well, I'll be fully honest because not being honest with you is a bad idea. I got the idea from Teddy, the bear. He seems to think that this is going to be war, that what you did is cause for major war. You're probably going to be labeled a heretic now. Never thought of myself as a heathen. Funny.
I always thought of you as a heathen.
And Hummer will bow before you. Thank you.
I will speak with Grace Jonesing. I am confused about Lace.
What are you confused about? If my counsel could help.
Of course it could help. I do not entirely understand why I took such a direct tactic with Lucy, and it seems to have caused doubt in Lace.
Honestly, I think I know why you took the tactic.
Enlighten me.
You're in love. And love, in the way you're in love, makes people see things differently. You did not see Lucy in the sky as a loudmouth, but an invasive predator almost. I mean, she assaulted the woman you love.
It seems highly illogical. There's nowhere within my programming vectors. It's all too human. Seems to be a weakness from what I understand of love.
Humans like to model things after themselves. They like to put their emotions in things. If you've seen people who have animals that they do not consider food, they put their own emotions on them. Oh, my kitty loves me. Oh, my dog wants to be around me. Or they'll assign cruelty or malice to their negative emotions when really they're just acting on base instinct. If humans made you, which seeing what Buckaroo has discovered might be true, they probably put some kind of processors in you to make you more relatable.
That is a ring of truth. I'll need to find a way to reestablish Lysa's trust in me, or help her to find a way past their distrust in me. We need her near. But for now, I should speak with Grace Jonesing.
Certainly. Do you wish me to accompany you? Or would you prefer Teddy?
For this, I would prefer Teddy, but if you could make sure and keep an eye out for Lace, I would very much appreciate it.
And I think this, like, the camera will pan with the Hummer looking up to this house on a built way on top of other housing, just piled on top, higher and higher. And we move into the window and see Lace reclining on this very lavish interior. And Lace, what are you doing after all of this?
Some light reading, something that's not involved in music, trying to like distance herself and calm her mind after everything that's gone on.
Is it like a cheesy romance novel, an urban fantasy novel, or just like whatever was lying around?
Kind of whatever was lying around, but I'm imagining those like trashy romance paperbacks that seem to make their way into everything.
They infect the world, yes.
They
And
do.
I think like there's this picture of like the general spray painted white couple, the man with a body as hard as bricks, like pulling him close to her, as you can almost imagine the Twilightian, where like his abs were as hard as concrete, because that sounds attractive. And I think you're getting to the point in the book where it's like the person who's written this has clearly never actually had sexual relations. This is trash. And I believe there is a knock on your door. What do you do?
She gets up and answers the door, book still like finger holding the spot that she's in because, ooh, this is really bad, but
And outside is this sort of, I guess, I don't want to say dwarf of a person, but like someone who's like 5 foot nothing, like very, very short. And he's holding this bag with a red cross on it. And he looks like he has like that 1,000-yard stare, like he's seen too much. And he looks up at you and up, and his eyes flicker to the novel, and he almost sort of grins like, those things are everywhere down here.
that they are, but it's something you do.
It's music or reading, or and he looks down like the entire party in this world underground. Like there are people doing laundry, there's people growing crops with sunlights down here, just whatever they can do to make a living. Like, Grace sent me to check on you. Said that you had been banged around a bit up top.
Yeah. She waves him in. Make
And
sure there isn't anyone around. Closes the door.
yeah, and he sets the bag down, and unlike Lucia, he has like actual medical supplies beyond just the drugs. And he starts like he puts antiseptic on your wounds, and he has like the good antiseptic. It doesn't sting, it doesn't hurt, and he just checks like, how did you get these, if I can ask? You seem like the type of person who knows to stay out of trouble.
I try. Sometimes trouble just finds me.
Yeah, that's why I stay down here. Not much work usually, so there's lots of supplies, unless we get a runaway coming in.
Mm.
Do you plan to stay long?
Long enough for the danger to pass, and then I'm back up.
And you can see it seems like he's having trouble hearing you as he like cranes his head directly towards your voice every time with one ear facing you. It's probably just a sign that he's lived in the Thunderground his entire life.
Hmm.
Like you do you think you might need the help of any of our spin doctors? I mean, from the sounds of the people who've been coming to the Thunderground lately, there was a big mess of trouble up top.
That would be helpful.
And he sort of like stays silent for a bit as he sort of weighs what you said to like make sure he heard it right. And it's like, you're dancing. They'd probably take payment if you could teach them a few moves. I mean, you've seen the dancing. We usually get it down here. It's like throwing ham against the wall.
Oh, well, that's easy enough.
None of the trade secrets, of course, and I doubt you could make a donkey into a unicorn overnight, but just some basic tips.
I'll do my best, and honestly, if it makes your lives a little bit better once I'm gone, I think that would be payment enough.
Yeah, I'll send a few by your way if and looks down at the book. You want me to do it tomorrow so you have time to enjoy yourself? And like there's like a no judgment. It's just like, you've been hurt. This might be some time to be alone.
Tomorrow might be best to give me time to figure out what we're sending up.
Understood, ma'am. You have a nice night. And he packs his stuff back in his bag, and then I think he like, reaches into the bag and pulls out this book that is let's say it's like what would have been modern fiction in our day, just like a mystery novel. It's like if you get tired of, I think they called it purple prose. I don't know why. Maybe because you wanted to strangle the author until they turned purple. You can try this. It's pretty easy to figure out who done it, but it's a fun ride.
Well, that's really sweet of you.
It's not sweet. I've read it 500 times. I am so tired of it.
I'll make sure it makes its way back to you when I'm done.
He nods and heads out of your room, and you are finally alone for the night, I think. And do you just take the time to relax? Do you go looking about the Thunderground?
I think I might, like, later in the night when it's a little bit more quiet, set out to take a walk, because Lace, this isn't normally something she does, and it might not be something she ever does again, so.
Yeah, as you can hopefully see in the picture, it's like very weird scaffolding in the Thunderground in the out in back. Like there, lots of wood, lots of metal, just sort of tied together to make these houses and buildings stand. The level of light never changes because it's underground and artificial. Like and since people are sort of on the clock 24/7, there's different times when people are up and about. So like by the time you get out, it's like it would be like it's like, oh, it's 4 p.m. outside. Oh, it's 4 p.m. at 9 p.m. How interesting. But you step outside, and I think there like are people who were playing, like some kids who were playing on the porch, like to the house to your right, who stop and look at you and give you that sort of awestruck look of like, we've never seen someone so pretty, that you get a lot when you meet new people for the first time.
Yeah. She waves at them, but is a little bit uncomfortable because, ooh, children are not a thing she normally deals with.
Yeah, and they wave back and just go back to doing what they were doing. Is something so interesting. Okay, back to playtime, as kids do.
A child.
Yeah, as you walk down the flights of stairs to get to the bottom, and there seems to be like a soup kitchen kind of deal for the food, where there's several cooks making a singular meal for the night. You can see probably a few of Jackal's followers getting their food there, though I'm not sure if Jackal is present. Jackal, do you want to be present?
Sorry, I had to click the button. Yes. If Jackal could be present, Jackal will be present. Jackal is trying to stay out of Lace's hair, but definitely wants to be all up in her hair.
Yeah, so
Oh.
you see this familiar face,
And we are not talking today.
Yeah, so Lace, you just walk by and get your food and walk away from Jackal then?
Um,
Or something similar?
Something similar. I'm just looking at the list of NPCs because she is technically one of Jackal's followers, so she might sit with another member of their group and just kind of make idle conversation.
We could flesh out Fuse a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so from what I remember, Fuse is sort of a stocky worker kind of guy. He like raises both eyebrows as Lace sits next to him or across from him, and it's like, wow, you're usually with the boss. Do you need something from me?
No, just wanted some quiet and relative solitude, and even that is hard to find around here.
Yeah, it's a busy place. Lots of interesting infrastructure. I mean, some of it's a bit wasteful, but I want to know how they built all this up.
Over time, I would assume.
I didn't mean the simple answer.
The complicated answer is above me. You know that.
Well, I just wonder, like, I wonder. You know that about me. Are you holding up well since the incident?
The ringing in my ears has stopped, so that's something.
Oh, the ringing in my ears just started, but I didn't have any earplugs when we were in the show.
Rookie mistakes.
I gave my earplugs to, let's see, Eve, YVE. She seemed to need them more than I did.
It's kind. There are people that live here all the time. It's kind of wonderful, really.
It's like being inside a protective bubble. Not really a bubble, but like a womb, I guess. If that doesn't sound creepy, it sounds creepy, doesn't it?
I get what you're saying. The execution's iffy.
But from what I've been talking about, like the dust has no hold here. I mean, look, run your finger across the table real quick.
She does.
Like if you had a white glove on, it would have come back clean. And like that's when you start realizing, like, even though things look dingy, it's actually, compared to the above ground Gnashville, just immaculate.
Yeah, you have a point.
And I mean, to be fair, like, especially since I've heard Jackal's words, the sun's kind of irrelevant, especially down here. I mean, you may need it to light some things up, and there's lamps to grow stuff, but I mean, it's just amazing.
It's safe.
Yeah. And that's a real rarity these days.
Yeah.
Maybe it was a rarity back then too, but to think Grace Jonesing started as a slave in the church and then made this.
You think we can make something greater?
I don't think I can. I think I'm just a tool. But I think if I follow the right person, if I get the right directions, I can be a part of something greater.
And what happens when you're not useful as a tool anymore?
If I do my job well enough, there'll be enough goodwill towards me that I'll have a good life. If I do my job poorly enough, I'll probably die in the doing.
It's something to think about. There's always something to think about.
Yeah. I mean, Jackal's good people. I mean, it talks nice and it says the right things, and
It
I mean,
says the right things.
is something the matter?
There's always something going on.
I
Don't
know.
worry about me.
Can I call you Lace?
Yeah.
Lace, I mean, it seems like something specific's the matter, if I can press the issue.
There's nothing wrong that you would be able to fix. I don't know if there's anything wrong that I would be able to fix.
Ah, one of those issues. Well, if there ever is an issue that I can fix, come give Fuse a talk to. I mean, I'm handsy and handy. I'm handy, not fuck handsy. Sorry, you probably get that too much.
At least you're upfront about it.
And to make you feel a bit safer, you're really not my type. But I mean, your dancing's pretty, but you're safe around me.
I understand.
And I want to know, has Jackal been listening in on this?
Yes, it has.
Yeah, and
Jackal's crossed over into the being too nosy.
You slowly see it come into frame.
I need to put your new move to the test. Act under fire to see if you can evade Lace's attention while listening in.
Oh, well, it turns out I'm spooky intense, see.
Yeah.
So with that, I can roll plus weird instead of plus cool. Let's see how it goes. I'm going to succeed, I think. We'll see. It's an 11 plus 2, 13.
Yeah, so I think Jackal has like activated the aural sensory unit 3600 or whatever, and like just
like a little readout display in its cute like visual cortex there.
Yeah, and I think Hummer like realized you were not invested in their conversation and just has gone back to humming as you're spying on the Lace. But yeah,
and occasionally Jack will say, "What? No, I can multitask. Please, what are you saying? I am very interested."
Staring straight ahead.
Yeah, and I think this is probably the good time for the first break. We'll be let's be back at 10 after the hour, and
Mhm.
we'll see how Dolly handles the trip into the dust. I have my helper with me, who is checking out the new stuff I got today and walking all over my notes.
Excellent.
It's so much help. I don't know what I could do without cat paws on my notes.
Yeah.
Maybe write on them.
It's quite handy because you know which are the important ones, because those are the ones that the cat stood on. So,
of course.
So our puppy is trying his best to do the potty training thing. I just walked outside of my office, and the puppy pad, he had peed on one area, and he had pooped on the corner of it, but then there's poop on the other side of it because he doesn't know where his butt is because it's behind him, which is kind of forgivable. I don't know. It just tickled me. Sorry for poop humor. Looks like we lost Serba. Is she trying to rejoin, or does she know she dropped, or everything okay? Hello?
She's restarting her camera for...
That's right. During break, she was going to restart. I forgot all about that. Sorry.
Give me a sec. My computer's having problems with the internet yet again, so I'm going to move to a location close to the modem. Or at least, I think it's having problems again.
Good luck. How are you doing, David?
yeah, good. Thank you. Yeah, yourself.
Good. I saw you post a few games. I'm always sad at our time zone difference because I went to game with you during the week, but
Yeah.
damn
Yeah,
it,
I might do another weekend one in November. But yeah, my weekends for both September and October have been fairly manic. So
quite all right. It's not your responsibility to post games I can play in. I
No,
still lament that I don't get to play in every game that I see posted. Honestly.
Exactly. It's
How do you like the playbook of the mother so far?
it's quite good fun. Yeah. It's yeah, I always like, the sort of the having sort of like the NPCs around are always good fun. I think with these sort of playbooks, that's really cool. And yes, it said some of the moves seem quite fun. So yeah. So I'm still very, as I said last time, but yeah, it's like it's my first time actually getting around to playing Apocalypse World. So it's still, because I'd forgotten just how many moves there are in it compared to some games, and it's still kind of getting my head around everything a bit. But no, it's been really good fun so far.
Yeah, the first edition, second edition has significantly more moves, but I do like that they're kind of like pocket. It's like, welcome back.
Yeah.
Like pocket, like you're only going to engage to this at certain times, and then you can just flip to that page.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Versus some games that have like 4 pages of basic moves, and you could use any of them possibly at any time, but not really. Those are terrible. This one's at least they have it kind of organized pretty well, at least for my use.
Yeah, I was a little because I've just started running. Well, I mean, I've been running for about a month or so now, but some Miss Thea, like the new like sort of fantasy legacy.
Yeah.
Hey.
Woo!
Oh.
Yeah, my computer is acting. It happened last time I was on StreamYard, but it was like cutting in and out a bit, and I don't know.
If you want to jump to Jitsi or whatever, I'm on board. Whatever you need, man.
I don't know. I can't stream from Jitsi yet, or at least I've not set up to. But
Okay.
I mean, I'm fine trying it. Did I cut out that time?
I'm
Okay.
just listening.
Okay. Yeah. So I may be called away. Like, as I told Rich earlier today, one of my friend's parents has passed, so they're setting up the service and wake and everything. So, but I think we have everything set up. I just offered that if they need someone to be there for them, that I'll be there for them. But yeah, with everyone back and on screen, and hopefully my computer will continue working well. And a cat. We will get to Dolly's Adventures in the Dust. So yeah, this is the next day. Are you wearing your valuable fashion into the dust, Dolly?
Ooh. I mean, the power gamer in me says I probably should, because it does give me more armor. But no, I don't think I will be. I think I'll be wearing a more desert appropriate gown.
You sound like my first battle babe who did not wear his armor to a meeting because he didn't want to be conspicuous, and then a gunfight broke out.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're heading out and it's just Tyrell coming with you, no one else from your family?
That's right. Only Tyrell from my family, I think.
Yeah. So you guys are headed to the north side of Gnashville, and you get close to, like, you have to go through downtown, and there's all those shops like Buckaroos and the tourist traps, the literal tourist traps from the people you don't eat from. And you finally make it to, like, as you get close to the edge, there are fewer and fewer places, just the poorest of the poor here. And by the time you're at the edge, it's like homeless people and those who've been touched by the dust, as they may say. But you see Skulljack and his crew readying up what is, I think, like an armored soldier delivery vehicle, like one of those huge tornado chaser vans, pretty much. And it is armored to the gills. There is huge amounts of room. There are treads. There are backup treads. The tires seem to have like 3 layers on them just in case, because you do not want to get caught out there. And as you manage to get closer, you see Skulljack has his hood up yet again, but he lowers it once you get there. And what does Dolly look like? How is she zhuzhed up today?
Yeah, so I think for like desert explorations, I'm imagining a like a long leopard print dress with a hat with a veil down in front of it to keep the sand out.
As you do.
Yeah, indeed.
And he gives that winning smile of his that shows he's only missing 3 of his natural teeth. And he welcomes you in, and Kiki is dressed in her dust busting finest. It looks kind of like a beekeeper's suit, but with a much stronger mesh on it that could, like, it looks almost like it's hard to breathe in with the layers she has on her. And there's a few people in bomb disposal suits that are they're incredibly thick and armored, but they are a bitch to move in. And they're slowly getting everything on board. And Skulljack looks at you and Tyrell, like, you guys are completely underdressed. But it's like, you guys are going in that? This isn't a picnic, you know.
Well, that was my plan, unless you have any better suggestions. But
No, we don't have anything spare. I'll do my best to keep you guys safe and secure, but you guys get to ride up front where the most of the protection is then. And
Most kind of you.
And Tyrell looks sweet. He's like, "Will Kiki be there?" And it's like, no. Kiki needs to. He's my first mate. She runs most of the ship while we're out there. She'll be flipping switches and making sure people aren't being bitches. Isn't that right, Kiki?" And she gives a thumbs up from her suit, and you can almost smell the sweat coming out of it already. It's like, and the Skulljack comes close to you. He's like, "So, do you want to know the rules of the dust?"
Oh, well, very well. It's. I've always found it's rather difficult to break rules if one doesn't know them first.
Fair, but I'm the captain. What I say goes, and I'll be a bit lenient on this because I know you're very independent and this is your first time out. But you know, number two, if there's any funny business, you get the hatchet. I'll give you the blunt end, ma'am. Uh, if you start acting funny around any survivors we find out there who don't act funny with us first, you get the hatchet. That one I'm going to have to keep to my word, ma'am. Anything that you can personally carry out of a place we find is yours to keep, though anything that you need help with is fair game to be shared amongst us. Number 5, you go crazy, you get the hatchet. Again, not going to go easy on this one for you.
That all sounds very, very congenial. Yes. Thank you, Captain.
All right, and he let me show you to where you'll be sitting in for this entire journey. He takes you up to the front, and there is this large single I don't know what to call the car seats, but like there is no middle thing for people to sit across. It's built for like 5 people to comfortably sit, but he has made it so that there is no one besides you, he, and Tyrell up front, so you will have room to lounge if you need. There are tons of fans and air conditioning because it gets hot in here, and you see as he like helps you in if you want in to check things out. And as he checks his watch and pulls out a flare gun, fires it up, it's this dust, sort of like the Mad Max Fury Road flares. It's not actually light, but just a lot of colored smoke. And this is the blue smoke. And as he does that, you feel the earth trembling before you hear them. And 3 more of these dust ships come driving up around Gnashville and start forming up around the perimeter of this ship. It's like, welcome to the fleet of dust pirates. Hope you enjoy your show.
Always. Lead on, Captain.
Yeah, he'll start barking orders at his subordinates, and as nice as he was to you, he is a strict taskmaster with everyone else. Everything must be right. Everything has to be buckled down. And it's just like it takes nearly an hour before he comes back, and he settles in and reaches into this small satchel he has, which you will notice has a cross stitch on it, that it has the name Dolly on it. It wasn't done by, but you can tell like there was something under it that got ripped off, probably Parton. But and he pulls out this Coke bottle full of pure water and hands it over to you. It's like, save this for you. Figured you might be a bit parched before the trip, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, Skulljack. Very kind of you. And
he'll wait for you to drink a bit, and he'll pull on the horn and start pulling out, and you notice he's smart enough that he's not the first of the ships in the line. And he's not the last ship in the line, but he's like somewhere safely in the middle. And as you get further and further from Gnashville, like the dust just begins howling. It is madness out here. Just you can see maybe you think you could throw a stone and see that far, but you'd have to be a hell of a softball player to do that. And like he starts focusing on the compasses, on the different modes of direction, and there's like different horn pulls signify different things. And I think I don't have a custom move for this, so I will use the custom move from interacting with an idol, which again I forgot to write up for everyone to see. But this is rolling weird, and poor Lace failed this last time, so with your weird of -1, I hope you do better than she did.
And that's a 7.
Okay, you just take Psi Harm, which means you have to roll the harm move +1. So 2d6 +1, and this one you want to fail because thankfully they fixed and burned over, but
That's a 5.
then all you hear is wind and howling. It's unpleasant, but nothing untoward happens. And the trip seems to go as planned. You're not sure how much time has passed, as there's no clocks in there, but eventually the dust begins settling a bit, almost like the storm is giving you reprieve. And in front of you, piercing the sky, and it used to be just very good glass, but it has been mirror sheened from the dust blowing past it all the years. There is the reflecting tower, and the rest of us would know this as like a special shopping center, but it has been untouched in the dust for who knows how long. And the caravan begins circling around it, almost protecting it with themselves, and people start getting out, and Skulljack looks a bit nervous, like he's almost afraid to expose you to the dust, but once he's sure the storm has died down, he sort of grits up and opens the door and then holds out a hand for you to come out.
I will pull up my scarf over my nose and mouth and pull the veil down over that, and take his hand and step out into the dust.
Yeah, the thing you notice even through the veil is it smells different out here. There's like a feralness, like sort of like the difference between your house cat and the street cat. And Tyrell is just awestruck, and he pulls out this small notepad and begins sketching the tower and sketching the people around it, even the reflections in it. It's very crisp and raw, but it seems good. It's like, now, ma'am, I'd recommend you go in second after the scouting party, but since I'm sort of your half boss here, I don't have say in which group you go with. How do you want to handle this?
I'll take your advice, certainly, Captain. That sounds like a sensible plan.
Okay. And like we've pretty much covered the first floor. There was a lot of good scrounge. We're hoping the other floors have at least as much. We've not run into any of the psychos out here, so seems pretty good. And as the team moves in slowly, there is some silence for a few minutes, and Skulljack just sort of looks around, has a walkie-talkie with him that seems to be industrial army grade. But you can tell he's sort of focused on it, but he's kind of focused on you. There keeps being almost reverent glances from the side of his eye, but he doesn't say anything. What do you do?
I think I will give him a smile, but I won't sort of do anything to approach him yet, especially not while he's still coordinating his men. I don't wish to distract him at the moment.
Yeah. I think what you do notice is that Kiki has come over to Tyrell, and she pulls off her beekeeper chic head and places a kiss on his cheek, and you feel like a breeze whip up around you, and it seems that the air has not shifted just physically, but almost like there's a tension in the air. I will probingly ask, do you want to read a person or a sitch?
Yes, I think I'll read the situation here. I think that's the thing I'm more concerned about at the moment.
Okay.
That's a 9. So
Ask one.
One question. It's it'll probably again be what should I be on the lookout for. I'm in between that and which enemy is the biggest threat, but because I don't know of an enemy, I'm going to go for what should I be on the lookout for.
Kiki's just been infected with or at least touched by the dust, as they say. And she's getting close to your son.
Yeah, I think I will step up and flip out a fan between them and say, please, dear, not in public. A little discretion would be appreciated.
And you see this anger in her eyes, primal and furious. And she starts reaching for her sidearm. And Tyrell looks a bit confused. It's like, Kiki, you're not acting like yourself. You're usually so sweet and charming. Mother, what's going on?
I think it's the dust, my dear. Unfortunately, well, I do not know how far gone she is yet.
And I think like there's some chatter going on the walkie-talkie, so Skulljack is not stepping in at the moment. But I will push a bit. Do you want to do maybe a like act under fire to try and do this more peacefully, or do you feel like you are having to protect your child?
I think as she's going for the gun, this is probably more of a protect situation. Yeah.
So do you want to seize her gun by force, perhaps?
Yeah, that sounds good.
And I believe you roll that with sharp.
I do, yes.
So what are you using, your straight razor, your gun, or your bare hands to do this?
I think it will be the little like garter pistol, which she pulls out, and I think she's essentially going to like point this little pistol at Kiki's head and grab the gun with the other hand, and attempt to disarm her.
Okay. The one thing I'll say is seize by force is always sort of violent. I figure if you do not want to do killing damage to her, you should probably just go for the gun with your hands.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure thing. That's a 10.
Okay, you get to choose 3, and I think the only one you don't want to choose is inflict great harm.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Suffer little harm, take control of it, and impress, dismay, or frighten my enemy.
Yeah, so your shapely nails dive for the gun, and you one hand just sinks your talons into the back of her hand, and she hisses, and your other one pulls out her gun, and she looks wild-eyed at you and just shrieks. And this gets Skulljack's attention. He storms over and grabs her forehead and pushes her head back and looks in her eyes like, "Oh, fuck, damn it." He says like some kind of C code into the walkie-talkie, and several of those men in the bomber jackets come out and just pile on top of Kiki. They're like, just put her in the hold till she's safe. We'll make sure she's okay once we get back. Ma'am, I am sorry about this. She's usually smarter than to pull off her protection out here.
That's quite all right, Captain. I hope she will recover. But perhaps we had better head inside before any further unfortunate incidents occur.
You're a smart one. The team's just cleared the second floor. We're going to head on up. And as you guys make it inside, this is an old, like Macy's style, or what's the British version of this? I should know that. I've watched enough Keeping Up Appearances. I should know that. But it's like the
yeah.
It is like the Are You Being Served kind of building, just that tall shopping center, and you find this dead escalator, and he begins stomping up these huge stairs, and you can see, like, it's odd that you can see through, like, sort of the mirror glass on the outside, but it's dark enough that they brought out flashlights and gas lantern kind of torches here, and they're afraid to pull out like any fire because that one time they got to the place that had the fuel leak in it. But you make it to the you can see like they've stripped mannequins on the bottom floor. There's some old glass display cases that have been shattered. It has been ransacked, and everything that could be taken that seemed to have any value has been taken. But once you get up to the second floor, it is a complete time capsule. There are like the few people who are hiding out who seem to have died long, long, long before you were even a thought, before your mother was even a thought, before anything like that. And the remains are clean and picked, like something had come in here before and gotten to them, if you know your corpses well enough. But the more exciting part is just the stuff. This is things you've only heard about in the Golden Ages. You see pictures of models on the wall, the stunning women in fashion you could only dream about before, maybe that you haven't even dreamt about. And just this seems to be the place with the clothing and the jewelry, and you see even through the dim light when they flash their lights on the glass, there is glittery beauty inside. And as you walk past one of the display cases, the dust trailing as your fingertips run across it, you see a straight razor, not nearly as nice as yours, inside, with a shaving kit and just all sorts of goodies. And you hear Skulljack in the back as you've moved on just a bit. It's like, okay, let's begin hauling shit out. Be careful of truck number 3. Kiki's gone a bit kill crazy. We'll calm her down once we get back to Gnashville. So, Dolly, what are you doing?
I'm going to say, well, come on, Tyrell, let's go shopping.
And Tyrell smiles like, do we have to leave money like we do back home?
No, not here, dearest. There is no one here to take it. These things have been abandoned. It's up to us to give them a new home.
Okay. And he wanders by, and like he's looking at the clothes, but like he has such an odd build for a man. There's nothing that would like really fit his form. But I'm assuming pretty much everyone in your house knows how to sew.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's looking at things like I can work with this, I can work with it, and just like his little arms are just like stacked full of clothes. But I think can Dolly read?
Oh, that's a good question. I think yes, because I think she has like read the words to songs, and yeah.
I think you're walking around when you see the a sign over a door, which piques your attention, as it says uh, music center or radio center, and you know radios play music, and you look around, you can see the old speakers around the locale, so probably they pumped music and words through here. There might be something in there.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go and have a look at that.
You grab the handle, and it is hard to. It's one of those things you pull down and pull out, and it creaks and groans. The door has not been opened in ages, and inside it is dusky. I assume you had gotten one of the flashlights from Skulljack
Yeah,
to help you, and you peer it inside, and it is this small little room with various equipment. You can see this person, or what was a person, huddled in the room, their arms covering their legs, their head just down. But what interests you more is the equipment that was used to produce the sound around here. We would recognize it as like where you would read off the specials or have people come in and do stuff or pipe the music out. But um, a little scouring, and you find something you do recognize: old cassette tapes and vinyl.
Excellent. I will start loading those up into a bag.
And I think this will be like some kind of there some kind of store which is not around now, but like the equivalent of an upper class Macy's or like whatever kind of store like that. But you get the music, and you do you want to like fiddle with any of the electronic equipment in here? Or I doubt it'd work, but you never know.
I will flick a couple of switches just out of curiosity, I think.
And I think ooh, I think you do hear something. And from like there's a small crackle and pop as one of the display lights flickers on. And as it flickers, um, but before I ask, has Dolly ever seen any of the idols perform?
Possibly not.
Okay. And so you hear a odd voice, and it's like, I know where you are. I can see all of you right now.
Really? And who might you be?
That's a question I don't hear very often. Everyone knows the Star Walker. Everyone should know the Star Walker. I'll be kind if you'll be also kind. Nan, madam. Leave the music.
Take anything else. I don't care.
And if I do not?
Well, you won't like what happens next. I have ownership of all music out here. That is my sound you're holding.
And I think you had noticed on the music that a very impressive man, androgynous figure, but Bowie is named on the music.
Well, surely it would only enhance your popularity if more people were able to hear your music.
They can hear it at my shows. That is the proper order of things.
Well, I think the least I can do is make you work a little bit for your exclusivity.
Well, if that's what you're saying, I guess we could work out a trade.
And that's when you hear another voice. Mom! Oh, Mom, he's here. And it's Dinah.
Ah, he is at the house.
You're not as stupid as your fashion makes you seem.
I only wish I could be as brilliant as it, but very well, you make a compelling argument. I would be willing to put myself at risk for these tunes, but and I think I'll place the bag down on the sort of the desk in here and say, but I'm not willing to sacrifice my children for it.
You're doing the right thing. You know this to be true. You don't even do real music. You mimic. You parade around. I am the true source.
But I will ask you something. Even this has been an interesting conversation, and you know your children very well. Do you want to read a person across distances?
Yeah, I think so. That's a 9.
You get one question.
Would you like me to help?
Oh, good. You have the friendship charm.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, yeah. Yeah, go for it.
Roll plus history, Lace.
It's +3, which is a 6, and that sucks.
Oh, and that means you're drawn into whatever happens, Lace.
All right, I was part of this anyway.
So, what one question do you want to ask, or do you want to hold it?
I think I'm going to ask what do they intend to do?
Deceive you. That isn't Dinah's voice. You know her too well. This is this guy is a walking Vocaloid, I guess. He's trying to trick you.
Excellent. So yeah, I will flick off all the switches that I previously activated, and pick the bag up again and walk back out into the store.
As you walk out into the store, you hear the thing that everyone in a store is used to once in a while, but the loud screech of a radio being pressed too close to a speaker.
Foolish harlot. You think that this will save your girls, your boys?
And you hear like the shriek of the fake Dinah being killed.
I've killed your most precious one. What do you say to that? Do you want to lose them all?
Like, I think like the rest of the pirates are looking around like, what the fuck is this?
You're not awful at mimicry yourself. I have certainly heard worse impressions, but you do not fool me.
You can hear a rumble from outside. You're not sure if it's the dust or just the anger of an idol manifest. But you hear this garbled growl as before the equipment goes silent with a almost shrill EKG beep. And the pirates are looking around surprised, and Tyrell comes up waddling with his arms full of clothes, bags of shoes in his hands. Mom, did you just stand up to an idol?
Well, only in Idol's voice, really. He wasn't. He didn't do me the honor of meeting me face to face, but I somehow feel that might change in the not too distant future.
He sounded stressed, like something was going on underneath all of that. Why would he need new songs if he's so good at the ones he already has?
The thing is, Tyrell, music is a fleeting, ephemeral thing. And when people get too stuck in a rut, it can be most boring. It's why we should always strive to make things just a little bit different.
He sounded scared. I don't know if he was scared of you or scared of something else, but maybe it'll be more fun when we get back home. I have so many ideas.
Yes, well, I'm not sure if he is frightened of me yet, but we shall see. Perhaps I can change that.
I wonder what could scare an idol. And I think that'll be the cut of this scene, as it takes a few days to pack everything up and get back to Gnashville, and a certain Augury may have gone on. But I think I'm going to use my MC powers and start pushing everyone together because we need to get this party going. But this is going to be the pay for lifestyle deal. I will start in reverse character keeper order. Lace, this time, how much are you spending on barter since you spent nothing and relied upon the kindness of non-strangers last time?
I'm looking at what I have.
You have 4 barter, I believe.
4 barter. I'm good with spending 2.
Oh, you're going to be well taken care of during the revolt. Jackal, how much is it spending?
Because it earned a couple, it will spend a couple, keeping itself at 4 barter total.
And Dolly, I I believe you have to spend barter. I don't know if being around your house would allow you to, but you're not at your house when this happens, so you would have to spend barter anyway. So are you spending 1 barter for a normal lifestyle, 2 for an extravagant lifestyle, or 3 for an obscene lifestyle?
I think just 2 for extravagant for now.
Yes.
I'd like to ask, what is an obscene lifestyle? I don't remember that being discussed.
Mechanically, it is hard to decide or decipher because it's basically living like a 1%er. You know, the normal barter, you have food, edible food. At 2 barter, you have the luxurious food. At 3 barter, you have stuff that people probably go generations without ever tasting, or let's say high tech at beck and call.
I will spend 3 barter.
Okay.
Go ahead and dip into the funds there. That sounds good. Live high. Lace likes that. Lace likes these things.
Yeah. And WD-50, the fancy stuff.
Oh,
Yeah. With everyone spending at least 2 barter, I think we're going to introduce a new location. This is the sort of like those needle tower restaurants that spin around. This is a place known as the High Life. And Lace, you've performed here twice before. This is the first time you've come as a customer. And Dolly, this is where Skulljack and his crew like to celebrate after a successful raid. And luckily, Kiki seemed to return to her normal self after getting away from the dust. And she was insanely, no pun intended, sorry for her actions in the dust. So I will ask, since Skulljack will give you permission to invite or neglect Kiki, is she going to be at your party? Or your after celebration?
No, yes, I will. I think she can come along. It wasn't entirely her fault that she got infected by, crazy dust. So
entirely.
Oh, Simon Maelstrom, you so crazy. And yeah, and Jackal, are any of your followers here, or are they preparing for the Loudness War?
Oh, well, Jackal believes that the Loudness War will be between the idols, and Jackal is hidden away. So, sure they're preparing, because Stitch in Time and all that, but I think that Teddy, Pugsley, and Hummer are nearby. It is living posh.
Yes. And the one thing I will allow Dolly to do, if she so desires, is have found some of that good fashion from... yes, I believe if it's okay with Lace, I am going to give Dolly a collection of Golden Age fashion from the Glamour 2 Skinner gear. Is that fine, Lace?
That's great.
Okay.
Rock it.
You now have a collection of valuable fashion for every occasion, and some that may never come. So I think has Lace forgiven Jackal? Is Lace with Jackal at the High Life, or sitting at a separate table?
I don't think they came together, but she's not entirely ignoring it at this point.
So yeah, I think Lace was here first because never going to the High Life as a customer, she knows it's posh and fine.
Gotta get that early.
With luxury food and drink at your behest, and request. What did you get? And feel free to think of any kind of good soul food, or Nashville had a very vibrant Japanese scene before the apocalypse. Pretty much anything's at your call.
Some like fantastic like hot chicken.
I think they one of the chefs is named Hattie B, and
Yes.
she grows her and pickles her own cucumbers. So
That's
you have like the good stuff, and this is the 5-spice 6-alarm chili. The 6th alarm is the one that lets people know you're really on fire. And Jackal, I think you're arriving when Dolly and the pirates are, and you're riding the elevator up together. So, do you have things to say to Dolly? Dolly, do you have things to say to Jackal?
Dolly, welcome.
Oh, Jackal, how have you been, my sweet?
I am working within parameters. How are you, Dolly?
Oh, you know, I've been rather well, thank you, all things considered.
Where is your family?
And I think Tyrell peeks his head around Dolly. Hi.
Where is the rest of your family?
They are back at the house, or off doing their own things. I do not control every aspect of their lives.
Unlike some people. Shade, shade, shade.
The loudness war is coming. You should protect your own and those you care about.
Of course, I will always protect my family. But for this evening, I will enjoy what life has to offer.
Yeah, and I think the elevator opens and Skulljack walks out and just throws down this big satchel of shiny objects and jewelry from the raid, and it's like, bring forth the music, the wine, and the good times. I need to know what's gone on in this damn dump since I was gone. And he's more boisterous because he has... You're not on his arm, but you're within reach, Dolly. And I think this is when Jackal notices Lace, because who can not notice Lace wherever she is, sitting at a table by herself eating the finest of hot chicken.
Jackal will approach.
I think as you're going towards her, Hummer places a arm on your shoulder. It's like, perhaps you should send someone over first. Delegate a bit.
And then it will look for a different place to sit.
And
I just dropped in a pic of how Jackal appears.
ooh.
It has gotten makeup.
And I think, are you going to send a specific one of your
Teddy.
members?
Teddy is very good at these things.
Yeah, so I think Teddy just walks over and looks Lace up and down. There's no whistling. There's no objectification. It's just like what fashionable duds is this today? And but Teddy smiles like, oh, that smells good. That smells better than anything I've eaten ever. What is it?
Come sit. It's we're enjoying what time we have. It's friends.
Should I invite Jackal to sit with you? It's really missed you.
It can't try any of this fantastic chicken now, can it?
I think Teddy looks back. Teddy the woman looks back at Jackal, but Teddy the bear reaches down and fixes Teddy's head back towards Lace. And there's like there's a growl from the stomach, and Teddy sits down and reaches over for like a drumstick to be completely conscientious. Takes one bite. And like this waiter comes by, and like from a complete Harry Met Sally moment, I'll have what she's having.
And another one of the
Like just slaughter an entire one, baste it in that, and bring it. And I think like at this point is when Dolly is sitting with. Well, actually, what does Dolly do seeing Lace? It has been a while since you've seen Lace. And unlike certain people, Dolly's not in the doghouse.
Yeah, I think I will actually, seeing Lace in there. I will go over, and say, Lace, darling, it's been too long.
Does Dolly notice that Lace is still healing? It's like somewhat obviously like patched up.
I think your wounds have healed, but it's like sort of like the like there's not bruising and like it's still like raw.
Yeah.
So yeah, you Dolly can notice that if you'd like.
Yeah, no, I think she will notice that. Oh, my dear, whatever happened to you? Does somebody need to learn a lesson?
Someone has learned a lesson.
I am glad to hear it. I am sorry I was not here to give them a personal hand in the matter.
Let's not discuss that today.
Of course.
Oh, are you and your children here today?
Just Tyrell. We are here with the good captain, and she will gesture over towards Skulljack.
I think Skulljack's seeing you, like, I think sort of like Jackal, but without the augmented ears. He was listening in, and he scuttles forward. Like, Dolly was amazing. Her first time out, she had just amazing. She stood up to one of the idols. I mean, he wasn't there, but the ovaries on this woman.
That is something to celebrate. I'm sure.
Indeed, that's what I thought. It was a most profitable excursion.
Someone really does need to give those idols what for. Trust me on that.
I think the waiter comes back with Teddy's order and this fine bottle of whatever Lace has been drinking. If you're fine with me saying, it's probably like a flower-infused wine.
Yeah.
And because like it's hard to grow fruit in the Dust Bowl, and these grapes are fine. And, like, they'll pour a glass for everyone, and, like, reach for another bottle after it runs out because of Skulljack's crew, and keep pouring glasses. And Teddy will, the bear will hop down, pick up a drumstick from Teddy the woman's plate, and place it back on Lace's plate from the sharing. And I think
a good time.
I think menus are passed everywhere, and then and Hummer's just sort of like humming this. It's like tune as Jackal has not been invited over.
Everyone but Jack. It's a good time. We're having a good time. We're friends.
And I believe this this local gossip that is paid by Skulljack comes over and starts whispering to him and his crew, like, what's going on as Dolly and Lace talk. But yes, talk amongst yourselves. Or should I focus on Jackal for a moment? Yeah, I think I will. Jackal, when you're not invited to go over to Lace's table, but Teddy is allowed to sit, how do you feel, if I may ask a question?
Feel. Jackal is trying to process what if this is part of a courtship dance or if it has offended Lace beyond repair. But I think like visually, it's just dropped into a repose, and there's a small like a really old journal, and it's just sketching things, not even looking down because it's a robot, but it's sketching the little supper table that it is not at, and I think that perhaps it might need to perhaps gaze into open its brain.
Yes, I'm saying open your brain.
Yeah.
That's what it's sounding like.
Yeah, that's where it was leading up towards. It's not terrible at that thing, and it hopes that it will work out. So it will roll. That is an 11.
Oh my. And the augury is still going on even though you're not maintaining it. So I think the dust is actually, it's not abating, but it's not defending itself like it normally does. And your drawing just gets shadier and shadier as it seems to be something on the horizon coming towards Gnashville. And the dust seems to be roiling and tumbling about. And you can see it make faces of the different idols. Sort of like Mufasa from The Lion King coming back to talk to Simba. Only these... And they turn and look at each other. Dixie Stomper clashes into Catman, the dust exploding. Starwalker seems to just dissipate into the air. And Mama Sass is there singing parts. And you see Dean Brooks on the ground with several people tied to stakes being burned for their insolence against the idols. And this comic is what you have sketched. But I want to ask, how does the emotional processors in Jackal feel about this?
Emotionally, it perceives this end result as good in that there are less threats towards Lace. It understands that becoming a heretic is dangerous to the cult. However, as it has very logically explained to the cult, the cult is less important than Lace.
Of course.
Important, but less important.
You've got to have hierarchies, or else everything breaks apart. Said the anarchist, but still. So, has Jackal ordered anything off the menu, or is this more like a play date of some kind?
Jekyll has not ordered anything off of the menu. It sits at a table by itself. No food, just sketching and pretending not to pay attention to all of its associates.
So Hummer and Pugsley aren't with you?
Pugsley, occasionally Pugsley will come back, and Jackal sends him off on other. I think Hummer would be close by though.
I think Hummer has ordered this thing that just seemed to amuse her called pheasant under glass. She's never heard of a pheasant, nor seen any food served under glass, so it's just like a novelty to her. And I think Pugsley is sort of surreptitiously swiping food from people's tables as he like does your errands.
Nice.
And but I think it's time to charge the situation a little bit. As Skulljack just lets out this uproarious laugh, and he looks out at the sky. It's like one less fucking star there. That'll do. But then he like kind of gets prim as proper as Skulljack gets, and turns to Dolly and Tyrell. Hey, seems that your friend over there, and he motions towards Jackal. At least some people say that it took out Lucy in the sky, sent her all over the place, just like covering the walls.
Oh well, that rather puts my my recent exploits to shame. I shall have to go and congratulate her. Yet.
And it's like, yeah, ever since then it seems that the idols are kind of squabbling for Lucy's place. Like, her music is not there was no will for her music or whatever you do with that. I think like the sky is actually beginning to darken, and it sounds like there might actually be rain coming soon.
Honestly, we're all better for it.
Yeah, that Lucy was a bitch. I mean, most of the idols are kind of weird. I think being that high and above people makes you think you are high above people, better than they are. I mean, sure, they got fancy abilities, but hell, bet enough training would give you that. It's got to be some kind of magic in the Church of Idolatry.
Magic or no, she died just like anybody else would have.
Yeah, I guess if it bleeds, you can kill them. And I think like there has been like the calming, just orchestral music in this place. It's kind of cheap music, there's like no words to focus on, but like it's still popular for this kind of thing, so you can have a conversation. It changes. There's a crackling on the music. Then it goes silent for a brief instant.
Well, well, well. Now you're in my grasp, man woman.
Well, we'll have to see just how tight your grasp is, and whether I'm able to slip out from between your fingers, I suppose.
As as the rain begins to fall, thunder and lightning illuminate the outside, and Starwalker is flying around the windows of High Life. And after the break, we'll find out what happens. Be back at 25 after the hour.
Okay.
Almost didn't want to call for a break, but I really had to use the bathroom.
Yeah, that might be necessary.
Oh, this is so lovely so far, and it's only going to get better, never worse.
It's only going to get better.
I was muted. That was why. Whew. Okay. I'll say the situation is charged, but that does not mean I'm going to be pushing for violence. Or, well, it may happen, but it doesn't have to be the only way this ends. But I believe there is a certain move that does have to go off if the
Yep.
situation is charged. So, Lace, you are dangerous and sexy.
This plus hot.
It is plus hot.
So I rolled a 13.
You hold two.
I hold those
Use it to look any NPC in the eye and make them freeze as long as you hold eye contact.
Mhm.
And for what I do, like blinking is fine, but looking away will break the hold.
Okay.
Because just doing a long forever will just feel. Yeah. So
Yeah, no.
I think a lot of people are in the restaurant are actually the equivalent of if a star in our day and age came to like a building, like they would be taking pictures with they're oohing and awing. It's like, maybe this is one of the surprise concerts we've been told about. Do you think that person that they're talking about, the man woman, is like a special guest? Oh wow, look, that's Dolly Extravaganza. I bet this is part of their show. And, like no one realizes what kind of danger they're in right now. And I think Skulljack is actually quite mad that Dolly got called a man woman, though. And he reaches into his coat and pulls out this huge Magnum revolver with hatchet written on the barrel. And he just looks at Dolly. It's like, do you need me to take care of this? Idle or no idle? I'll do what you say, ma'am.
Thank you, Skulljack. I think I might have a word first, but if it comes to it, I certainly wouldn't mind your backup.
Understood. Be careful. So yeah, what are you all doing? And nice Magneto headset. So yeah, I will ask Dolly first. What are you doing?
Yeah, I think actually I'm going to just take a moment to sort of. I think I'm going to flip out my fan with one hand and just gently fan myself while staring at um, the idol over the top of it, Starwalker. Yes, and I would like to try and read him, if I may.
Oh, you certainly may. This will not go wrong at all.
That's a 9. No, sorry, an 8.
Okay. Does anyone want to help or interfere?
Not after last time.
I would like to help.
How are you helping, Jackal?
Well, I have a feeling that it has been eavesdropping through Teddy. You may not know which Teddy. And I think it offers some basic information of observations to help out with this particular read through either one of them. Yeah, so I think that's it. And with Dolly, I have an HX of 1, and I'm just double checking. I don't think I've taken the. I have not taken that move that allows me.
You've not taken Seeing Souls.
I have not yet. That's okay though. I rolled a 10, so plus 1, 11. You get 2.
Yep. Yes. Yeah. So you get 3 questions. Do you want to ask one immediately or hold all 3?
Yes, I will ask. In fact, I will ask my free one straight away, which is, what does Starwalker intend to do?
Starwalker intends to prepare for the war amongst the idols, the Loudness War, by arming himself, ? With music. The music you have. Though that is an interesting point. These are idols, and you've never heard them sing a song that was not written for them. Wonder if they can even write their own music.
Cool. Just check the other. I think I'll hang on to the others for now. So yeah, I'm going to step towards Starwalker, not up close, but just another couple of steps towards them. And say, your act really must be getting awfully tired if you are chasing after such paltry scraps to boost your resume.
Roll to shut someone down. Oh, wait. And you can't see behind the mask, but you can see the grip on the whatever is piloting this ability to defy gravity, Titan.
There is war in the air. There is something which must be prepared for. I will make sure I last forever, not just in memories.
So you think with a few more records you will win this war and become a truly undying icon? Is that it?
I believe with these songs that I may have an edge, and every edge counts. You should know your stubble is showing.
Well, perhaps I shall have to have a shave. But first, I suppose, what will you offer me for these songs? You must have something of value.
I can be obstinate sometimes. I realize my approach last time was ill-fitting. I could use someone of your skill. I could use a manager.
Well, I can see how that could be a lucrative position, I suppose, but if there were no more idols, then I see there'd rather be a gap in the market. I was going to flick over. Don't you, Lace?
You're muted.
I assumed I wasn't. She has been like slowly inching one of her blades out from under her sleeve just in case. Yeah, honestly, my life would be so much easier without idols breathing down my neck. People comparing both of us to people like you that can just do what others put in front of you.
There will always be idols. There were some before me. There will never be any after me because I do not plan to die. But there will always be brothers and sisters beside me. You would make a fine vessel, angry woman. You just have too much control, tightness. You're not ready to receive the spirit.
When are you guys going to make up your minds? I am either a witch or a vessel. I just want to live.
You are a witch to those who look for witches. I do not believe in magic like that. I believe in the magic of lace.
I don't see how that's any different, really.
And I have a question, Lace. You're looking directly at Starwalker, aren't you?
Yep.
Do you want to spend one of your hold?
The rest of you guys better use this wisely. Yes.
And I think there's
Oh, poor.
and it cuts. You can't see the reflection because of the reflection on the face, but Starwalker is just hovering and standing and is a sitting duck, one might say.
I would like to hurt it.
That's the most southern thing I've heard in a while. What weapon do you possess, Jackal?
None.
Mm,
Yep. I have followers who
Who
have
have
weapons.
guns?
Yes.
Maybe?
well, one is a walking weapon, but do you want to sacrifice them for this? You sacrifice a lot for Lace.
Man, that sucks. Yep. Yes, I am willing to sacrifice my personal assistant to get this done.
Seize Starwalker's life by force.
Alrighty. Good luck to me. Mark my XP ahead of time, so at least I feel good about this.
There's no feeling good about this.
I rolled a 9, and the +1 from my hard makes that a 10. Or actually, it's 11. That's an 11. Sweet. Let me grab the options. Sorry, I didn't have that. I had the PDF up, and then I closed it. So,
That's fine.
a sec, and I can tell you the options I choose. Terrible harm, definitely going for that one, because the harm I normally do isn't that bad. It's not that amazing, I mean. It's not great. Here we go. Three options. Inflict terrible harm. Definite and undeniable control of it. And in the faint hope that I may have my personal assistant on the other side of this, I will choose suffer a little harm.
Teddy rises from her hot chicken meal and starts walking towards Dolly. She then starts pressing buttons on her shirt, and the teddy bear sinks into the backpack. She bends over, and there is a pneumatic whoosh as the teddy bear launches through the window, grabs Starwalker's visor, and begins hugging. I love you! I love you very, very much. The entire visor shatters. We discover Starwalker is a man. Looks to be in his 90s by the shape of his head. But the normal air is not good for him. And he takes one final, apparently pained gasp. As you can almost swear with another pneumatic kiss, his lungs implode. And he falls. The entire restaurant is aghast at what happened. Teddy stands up, brushes herself off, reaches into the backpack, and pulls out another new teddy. Fucker. What do you all do?
We can't really hide from this one.
Yeah, I think Jackal steps up. It steps up onto the table and says, Look at what has happened. The idols are falling. Lace, the power of Lace, her beauty, her music is far greater than this decrepit old man.
Sounds like you're speaking truth.
Well, I mean,
at least
no.
Jackal's or version of truth.
Yep. I will roll plus weird.
Sorry you didn't get to spend the rest of that 3 hold, Dolly.
Sorry. So it's a 9 because I roll a 7 plus 2 is a 9er, which means I only get 1 hold unless someone wants to help me. Pause dramatically. It's fine. I can go on by myself.
I am always willing to help Jackal, even in this, emotionally torn time.
Yay.
Hey, that is a 12.
Wow, you're the best helper.
So what options are you picking, Jackal?
So, from Frenzy, there are no idols here now that Starwalker is dead.
There are no idols within. If you look out the window, the broken window, you can see at the bottom of the ground, there's a certain shake. It sounds like Dixie Stomper is down there, going through the corpse of Starwalker.
Oh, I want them to unite and fight for us as a gang.
Oh, high society is going low.
Bring people forward and deliver them, and by people, it will be Dixie Stomper. And yeah, it's hold. So I'd like to see those two happen.
Well, there's one problem. Well, you're not going aggro on Dixie Stomper, are you? You're not giving her a choice.
That's true. I am not.
So it seems that your gang needs to seize Dixie Stomper by force to get her to come.
It's true. They certainly do.
Roll that hard again.
Oh, yes! More XP! I'll mark that XP to make me feel better about the terribleness that's about to happen.
This 2 harm 0 gang of luxury foodies.
Oh, it's appropriate! I have rolled a 4. Plus 2 is 6. I have failed.
And I doubt anyone wants to put themselves in harm's way, potentially, if this help roll fails. So you get to pick one from the list. Good thing Mama Sass isn't singing.
That's true. Good thing. We're fine. It's all good. Yeah, terrible harm. Let's have her hurt before she kicks her ass.
Yeah, so I think that is Jackal going with them or just watching from above?
Jackal's going with them. Yeah, so this is important.
They all exit the elevator, and Skulljack's gang are NPCs. They're going with you. But yeah, I think the first people out there are like these rich yuppie couples of our age for the apocalyptic crowd. And Dixie Stomper just slams their skulls together, and they collapse. 2 more come at her, and she's living like she's in a mosh pit. But eventually they start scratching at her. They start grabbing at her, pulling her hair, dragging her down. And everything seems to be hard, a struggle, as the yuppies begin their pained assault, but they don't seem to be able to get a good blow in until the sound of a hatchet rings loud and clear, and Dixie Stomper goes down on one knee as one of her calves has been shot through. And your gang has suffered horrible harm. Dixie Stomper is, beside Catman, or at least maybe a bit before Catman, the most violent idol. And she has dealt the gang 4 harm. That would have been 5 harm if she was, they were not a small gang. So yeah, most of them are dead. Several of Skulljack's people are dead. But Dixie Stomper has suffered a good 2 harm. Well, 3 harm, thanks to the gang's size. And she is looking up, hissing, and angry. What the fuck y'all up to? Thinking you're going to take me? I'll kill every one of you sons of bitches, and I was going to let you live for taking this bastard out.
Oh, my dear, I think you quite misunderstand. You're not the one who makes the decisions about who lives and dies here. That would be us.
Oh, yeah? I've killed your army. What else y'all got? I would say, is Lace down there with you? You're muted, Cerebel. But if you are down there, you have 1 hold left from Dangerous and Sexy.
Dixie is down on one knee. right?
Yep.
So I'm gonna walk over and grab her little faux hawk and pull it back and force her to look into my eyes.
Wow. It's like seeing the moon again. And
They've got
she's stuck.
they've got me. And I've got it. Points to Jackal.
Shit. You are a witch. This is dark magic. Black is my heart. Go on. Kill me, girl. Make the world a darker place. The others will come for you.
I think we've had quite enough out of you.
Lace again still has like the blade mostly out of her sleeve. And she looks and it's like, they already are, and like just drives it into her neck.
Sounds like you're suckering her. She
Yep.
can't resist.
Nope.
Takes 2 harm. And as an NPC only has 5 health levels, that's fatal. And I think Dixie Stomper, definitely unlike Starwalker, dies with a smile on her face. But there's one thing. Lace is soaked in the blood of an idol. And I need to check something real quick, but yeah. Lace, roll me weird with a bonus of 4.
Weird +4?
So yeah, you're rolling plus 2d6 plus 4.
Alright. Great, because that's a 9. Wait, weird plus. My weird is 0 anyway, yeah. It's a 9.
Yeah. You can feel the corrosive essence of Dixie Stomper getting into your pores as the blood coats you. You take psi harm.
Yep.
Roll 2d6 plus 1.
Yep. That's great. That's a 10. That's fantastic.
Oh, well,
That's awful.
the thing is, when Lace comes to, there's a moment. I mean, you're there, but you're not. You're running wild. You're running free. Everything is right. Because when you wake up, you're kneeling before Jackal, offering Dixie Stomper's head to it.
That's great. That's great. Ooh.
And Jackal, I have to ask you, what did Lace confess to you when offering you this gift?
Oh my god, I don't know. That's that's scary. I don't know. Wow. I'm sorry. Like do you want to help me on this, Sarabelle? Like, what do you think that Lace might confess to Jackal? It could be a bad thing too. It's fine if it's like.
No, because the only thing that's running through my head is that she is very scared that they might be right and she might be a god.
That's awesome. I like that. That is my favorite, and I think Jackal will latch on to that.
I think if I may add flair to it, it's like a god worships at your feet. And as suddenly as the rainstorm came, a shaft of sunlight shoots through the darkness and lands on the pair. As Skulljack looks at Dolly but can't hold it back anymore. Oh, shit. Black credits. So, after session moves.
Ah.
Ah,
Dolly, who knows you better or worse?
Ooh. That's a good question. I think maybe Jackal, actually, because we didn't get much time to interact last time. So I think that Jackal has had a bit more time to see Dolly in action.
Nice. I was eavesdropping on you the whole time. So
Exactly.
you were eavesdropping on everyone the whole time.
Oh,
And that's
Spybot. So, Jackal, who knows you better or worse?
I mean, it's got to be Lace. I think, although it didn't say what it was
Well, I
prepared
mean,
to
Dolly
say.
saw how your relationship with Lace
Yeah.
ended up.
I think Dolly's learned more. I think it was more confirmation of things from before for Lace. So I think
Yeah.
Dolly. Yeah, that feels right.
And Lace, as if I need to ask, who knows you better?
Who knows my darkest fear at this moment? Yeah, it's Jackal.
Okay.
I get
Thank-
XP.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone who watched. I'm going to end the broadcast, and we will go through stars and wishes and, just wonderment. Goodbye.